to me, the Black Mirror aspect of this is that society is approaching a time where it will be possible to reproduce some version of your loved one's mind after they have passed beyond the mortal coil. And to me, that seems incredibly dangerous. History is riddled with unexplained events. You can turn back now or learn the stuff they don't want you to know. Four years ago, Condo got married to the woman of his dreams. Her name, Hasune Miko. She was a hologram.
The Vocaloid.
Yeah,
Singer.
with a voice library. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Incredible.
And it was using a voice synthesizer software. This was the first virtual singer, as you pointed out, but he recently became a widower at the young age of 35, not because of irreconcilable differences between the personalities involved, but because the software stopped updating. The company that created and maintained the software canceled their service in March of 2020. And this poor guy, Condo, was recovering from this, but it took a long time. This was, from his perspective, the love of his life, and he has not been able to interact with or talk to his spouse, what he sees as his spouse. And this story gets a little creepy because a hologram's 16 years old when they get married. They had a big wedding in Tokyo, 40 guests, and there are actually a couple of terms for what this is. The psychological motivation for this is something called fictisexuality or fictophilia. It describes the inclination of sexual or loving attraction toward characters or people that do not exist. So bridging the gap between the real and the imagined. The reason I wanted to bring this story today is because it's easy for us to laugh at it, right? There are a few of us who are probably chuckling when you say, well, it's not that bad. You didn't lose a human spouse, dude, right? Or you can always recover the software or make some new version of it. But for him, it will not be the same, and I think this is an excellent opportunity for us to talk a few minutes about whether this is a fluke, whether this is a harbinger, not our pal Jordan, but an actual harbinger of things to come. And my question for those of us listening along today, fellow conspiracy realists, in the future, would you ever consider a long-term romantic relationship with a computer, with a piece of software, with a hologram? If so, and if you got a hot take about it, just hit me on Twitter, Bimble and HSW. But for now, I want to hear what Matt and Noel have to think.
Well, I'm a big fan of cuddles, and I'm just skeptical in how, maybe there's going to be some kind of Cuddletron 9000 that becomes compatible with, software programs.
I'm down with. Well,
I mean, maybe that would work, but if that didn't exist, then I'm not into it.
I'm a big fan of gentle caresses. I'll give them out as much as I'll receive them, but I sure like receiving them. But my girlfriend, I love her to death. She can only do those for about 2 minutes at a time. So I would love to have a separate side relationship with a machine that can just do infinite gentle caresses. If that's on the table, I'd be totally open about it. It wouldn't be, but look, we already have so many relationships with machines. I mean, not to overstate the case, but sort of the idea of does the metaverse only exist if it's virtual reality? I think that's the point that Facebook and Meta are kind of missing. It's like the metaverse is the internet. We already have a metaverse. We already have things like Fortnite and Roblox and Minecraft, virtual environments. So how is a relationship with, say, I don't know, just a video game, or anything that you are interacting with that much different.
Or a body pillow. Shout out to James Franco in 30 Rock. That was an
Hugely
amazing
popular
episode.
in Japan
So
as well,
wait, what
yeah.
was that? What was that line? Then why is this pillow here? What? Why is this table here? Why is this chair here?
Exactly.
Because they are
Why
objects. They are here
Yeah.
to serve us.
They
But
are
we
here to
do
serve us.
not love them.
There's such a sad line in this article. I'm sure you saw this as well, Ben.
Mhm.
The one on cbr.com by Michael
Yes.
Lacerna.
Uh-huh.
It just, the image
That's what I was
here,
getting
it's like the last shot of a Black Mirror episode. It
Mm.
says the thing is still around. It just can't talk anymore. The AI
Right.
part is what lost the support. So
Yeah.
it says, while the projection of Miku can no longer respond to his voice, Kondo says he has continued to talk to it and eats his meals with the now silent virtual character facing him.
Yeah. I was just about to get to that. This is a device. The foundation of this is a device that's called Gatebox, all one word. It's about $1,300 US, and it allows the user, the owner, to interact with holographic fictional characters and have something that feels like a chat.
Yeah.
Although this is not as advanced as Lambda, to be honest. The next step is getting something like this with something like Lambda, and the step after that is allowing it some sort of physical form, right? Tangible form. I mean,
Would this have like a
palpable.
series of canned responses, kind of, or could it adapt? Like, I'm just wondering what level of AI we're talking here.
Yeah. The level of AI, we're not super clear on the sophistication, on how close it can come to mimicking a conversation. You know what I mean? Unlike Lambda, if you asked Miku what her thoughts were on life and the nature of existence, you probably wouldn't have as in-depth an answer as Lambda. But, you could say that about the comparison between almost any two human beings. They're going to have different levels of importance that they assign to philosophical questions. I also don't think we should necessarily judge people who are experiencing this. I mean, the world for billions of people is ending every day, and it's a very lonely place. Some of our friends in the audience today may be going through some emotional turmoil. To me, the Black Mirror aspect of this is that society is approaching a time where it will be possible to reproduce some version of your loved one's mind after they have passed beyond the mortal coil. And to me, that seems incredibly dangerous. Just the power of grief is such a compulsion, beyond words. I don't know if I could do it. The Bleachers song was right. Everybody's lost somebody, right? But would you want to live in a world where that person could come back? You never had to lose your grandmother, your spouse, your child. You would have a hologram. Their activity on social media had been analyzed along with their emails, all their other digital footprints, such that it could create a reasonable impression of them to talk to you from beyond the grave. That's creepy.
That
to
is
me.
a Black Mirror episode.
That is specifically.
Yeah,
that's what I'm
Black
pointing
Mirror
out. Yeah.
episode. Yeah.
That's, to me, that's really disturbing. But to some people, that would help them process their grief. What do you guys think?
I think it could help you process grief. It's just, I don't know, man.
It's a slippery slope, dude.
It's a bit odd.
Really, you know what I mean? Like, it's a way of like never letting go. It's a way of never moving on.
Yeah, that's what I would worry about, getting trapped, right? In an illusion of something that you're feeling a lot of grief about and you're sad about constantly. I was looking at the Gatebox website as we've been talking here. I didn't know that they're unveiling a new one, or they did last year, that is human-sized, like a very large version of the same small kind of Alexa-sized one that the person that we're talking about today had. They're offering new ones that are human-sized, and you just imagine putting that image of a loved one who's lost inside that box that you then get to interact with, and as you're saying, processing with that person. It could be incredible, but it could also, I don't know. Something about there's something unknown or unseen when you begin that process,
Right.
you know?
And then maybe it halts one's psychological progress.